Screen Slurps.
Hello and welcome to Screen Slurps, the movie review podcast where we discuss everything that is good, bad, and savage in the world of cinema. I'm Adam Meisner.
And I'm DJ Gearhart. And Adam, please tell me what you want, what you really want. Tell me, please. Tell me what you want, what you really want. Tell me, please, what movie we are reviewing today on this episode of Screen Slurps.
Well, we're going to review a movie where we get a little bit closer, because tonight is the night when two become one. I'm kidding. Tonight is the night we talk about Spice World. Spice. Not.
Spice.
Don't get them confused with Dune. We're talking about Spice World. We already talked about
Spice
Dune
World.
like 10 episodes ago. Something like that.
And we will be again in 2021. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Spice World. That's right, Spice World, the 1997 film starring the Spice Girls. That's right, we are reviewing Spice World
It just
today.
made me splatter beer everywhere on that one. It was like, Spice World.
Spice World.
Made me
Right,
get
yeah.
way too excited over here.
Oh, boy. Boy, howdy, am I excited for
Splatter.
that Spice. That's the world of Spice.
Spice splatter.
I mean, isn't Dune and Spice the same thing? You mean, like, you can call Dune Spice World because it's a world, the planet Arrakis, Dune, is also AKA Spice World.
Maybe that's what they were
get the
talking
spice
about the
in
whole time they were
universe.
doing that. That is literally the opening scene for Dune. They just keep saying Spice because they're literally just talking about the Spice Girls. It's just Kyle MacLachlan like, listen, viewers, have you heard their new album yet? It's called Spice. Spice. Spice.
Sleeper has awakened. Yeah, I didn't see Paul Atreides in this at all. I was so disappointed.
I'll tell you what I
Anyway,
want,
yes.
what I really, really want. Spice.
Yes, we are talking about Spice World, but before we get into Spice World, we have some other things to talk about. First off, let's catch up on what we've been side slurping this week besides the Spice World. And Adam, please tell me what you really, really want, and tell me what you've been slurping besides Spice World.
If there's any confusion, this isn't a cooking show, by the way. I've
Yes.
on the side here, I've been let me just say, struggling to find or buy a PlayStation 5. For all the nerdy listeners out there, the PlayStation 5 was just released, and on release day, which I believe was November 12th, I was on it, man. I tried to pre-order a PlayStation 5, which, let me also say, you had to join a lottery to try and pre-order a PlayStation 5. You couldn't just pre-order a PlayStation 5. No, Sony had to make it extra hard to even just pre-order one. You had to join a lottery to even have a chance to pre-order one. So I didn't
And
get
in a cult, like an Eyes Wide Shut.
exactly.
Right? That's what I heard. You had to join a cult. And
Yeah,
have, like,
of course.
These freaky mask and
Praise
Tom Cruise was
Sony
there.
and worship their game drives. No, you didn't have to do that, but you might as well imagine it like that. I didn't win the lottery of pre-order, so then I'm sitting there on November 12th hoping that, Walmart.com, like everyone else, when they roll out the PlayStation 5s, that you can get one of the 5 that go available on the website. And you have a span of literally about 5 minutes. That's how many people are getting on Walmart.com to even grab one. And when I'm on the website, those things sell out so quick. And as you're trying to refresh your page to even click add to cart, the website would crash. So you're trying to just check out. Even if you get one in your cart, you're clicking check out and the website goes down. And yeah, every time I tried to get one, I would get to the point where it would be like, you're ready to go. You want it shipped to your house now? And you're like, yes, like, there's my information. Let's go. And then a screen would load and it would say, sorry, we're sold out. And I was
Man,
just
this reminds
so
me of, like,
amazed.
registering for, like, a college class or, like, an improv class. Like, just
Oh,
being
it was
right there
awful.
waiting at midnight trying to get in.
Yeah, it was absolutely awful. And I can only imagine the amount of other people in the world that were probably in the exact same boat, having the consoles in their cart. They got all their information. They're clicking the button like, all right, I'm ready to buy it. I'm going to have this shipped to my house, ready to go. And then the screen loads and it just says, oh, sold out. Sorry. Try again in 3 more hours. So then you sit there at your computer 3 hours later, like, all right, I'm ready. Let's do this. And then same exact thing happens again. Or it says, gosh darn it, looks like the holidays are coming up and our website's down because everyone's trying to get a deal. And you're like, Walmart, why are you doing this to me? It's like going on a bad first date. You're like, all right, where are we meeting? And then you get that text message. It's like, can we reschedule for next Saturday? And you're like,
Feeling kind of tired. Yeah.
yeah. So that was November 12th for me. And I've just kind of come to the assumption now, or the realization, it's just kind of like, you know what? If I don't get a PlayStation 5 right now, I got a PS4. I can live with the PS4 right now.
I
And if
mean,
I have to wait,
There's going to be more games coming out next year. Yeah, I mean, like the launch games. I mean, they're going to come out with like a new version, like a new upgraded version next year that like, because like whenever launch, I mean, you know, this year gamer, like whenever launch, I think they had this trouble with like the Xbox One. The first generation, the launch consoles, like sometimes have problems, like maybe sometimes they blow up, or like heating problems and stuff. I'd rather get like the 1.5 version.
Yeah, and they've got that right now too. They've already announced that right now. IGN's made coverage on some PS5 problems. They've said that if you put the PlayStation 5 in rest mode on the brand new consoles, there's been some problems where you've had to completely reboot your console. Once you've crossed over your old PS4 games into the PS5, some people were having issues where it's like you have to totally reboot your console. However, the PlayStation 5 is completely backwards compatible for PS4 for the most part. I believe their announcement on that is that it's 99% backwards compatible with PS4 games. So almost every PS4 game is backwards compatible. And for a lot of the PS4 games that are launching now, on the bottom, it will say it's like PS5 upgrade available. So the new Miles Morales Spider-Man game, the new Sackboy adventure game. If you buy it on PS4, it will say on the bottom, PS5 upgrade available. So if you just can't wait and you're like, I want this on PS4 and play it, and then you plan to buy a PS5 later, you could just buy the PS5 later and then be like, cool, I'm going to upgrade it onto my PS5, and then you can just do that. You can still play it on your PlayStation 5. It will be better graphics. It will be better gameplay. But if you want to play the game now and you just can't wait, you're like, fuck it, I'll just buy it on my PlayStation 4. I'm gonna wait though. I know I want the Miles Morales game. I know I want the Sackboy game. But I'm still gonna wait. The new Assassin's Creed Valhalla game has an upgrade available, and I'm just gonna wait for all that stuff. I'll be patient. In a related note, I got back into Dark Souls 3 on the PlayStation 4. I already beat the game twice, but that's one of those games I can go back to, and it's one of those games where you don't want to die and lose all your souls, or in simple words, your money. It's basically like money, but it's
How
so
is
challenging.
that? I've heard great things. I've never played Dark Souls before.
It is such a wonderful game, and the hardest part is when you start a brand new character. That's when the game is incredibly challenging, and the leveling experience is what makes it difficult, and that challenge is really the bite of the game, is trying to level your character and get through the game the first time. However, once you beat the game, then you can kind of level your character even more, and they offer you a New Game Plus mode, which is what I'm thinking of diving into, and you can do that New Game Plus mode pretty much as you want. You can beat the game in New Game Plus, and you can keep going and going, and the difference is once you do New Game Plus, then the enemies get harder, there's more souls that they reward you with, or more money, basically, and you can level your character some more, you can get better gear, and you can just keep doing more New Game Pluses as much as you want, really. It's just the characters get harder as you do it, and I think it caps out, the character difficulty caps out if you do New Game Plus more than 7 times. So that's if you beat the game 7 times over with the same character. You're like, do New Game Plus. Okay, beat the game again. Do another New Game Plus. Beat the game again. Do another New Game Plus. Beat the game again. And people do that. People talk about how they've done that. I could not do that. I've beaten the game with 2 separate characters, and I haven't done a New Game Plus on either of them, but I'm thinking about doing it. Other than that, I started working on some pixel art. I don't, call myself a graphic designer in any way, but pixel art I think is really fun, like old school Mario, Mega Man kind of artwork.
Like sprites?
Yeah, like sprite stuff. Started doing some of that. I figured that
That's
I wanted
cool.
to do some audio for video games and some really sort of simpleton, like chip video game sound video game work. So I figured, you know what, since I don't have a video game in front of me, I could always find some
one.
old like Mega Man or something. Why not just make one? Why not try and
Yeah.
design a silly pixel animated video game myself? It'll teach me to use Unity, the software, a little bit. It'll teach me more about pixel animation, and it'll teach me more about the middleware between using software like Pro Tools or Ableton or Reaper and using Unity. So middleware would be like literally the in-between software like Wise. the audio software you'd use to kind of integrate both of those things.
Do you have to use anything like C++, like coding languages, or like Cobra with Unity? I've never used Unity before, but I've studied some coding before.
They do use that in Unity, and I've never actually used Unreal Engine or anything like that, but I think Unity is pretty quick to pick up. There's some great tutorials online for that.
Cool.
And I think anyone interested in doing video game project development and things like that, I would definitely check out Unity. I have Unity on my computer, and I think it's great for doing stuff like that. And in the music land, I was learning how to play the song Easy by Mac Ayers, which is a great song. If you haven't heard it before, check it out. It's a really soothing, sort of jazzy kind of song. Nice Fender Rhodes kind of sounding electric keyboard, and I love it. And it's a little more challenging than I thought. It's not exactly easy to learn, but Easy is the name of the song by Mac Ayers, and it's a great song.
Nice. Well, on the flip side of that slurping, I've also been playing video games such as, Video Game, which is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I completed the Golden Deer storyline. Yes, I beat it. Spoilers if you want to go play it. Here we go. I defeated the King of Liberation, aka Nemesis. I defeated him, and I started the third house because I beat the Blue Lion house. I beat the Golden Deer house. Now I just started the Black Eagles storyline.
Sounds like a sports team.
Yeah, I mean, they're all from like different kingdoms of Fodlan because it's based off of I think I mentioned this in a past episode. It's all based off of the story of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is an old story from Chinese literature, and takes place in the continent, fictional continent, of course, of Fodlan. And the continent is split into three different countries, regions, I guess. Yeah, one's the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. The third one, which is the Blue Lions, that's where they come from. And the Golden Deer come from the Leicester Alliance. And the Black Eagles come from the Adrestian Empire. So basically, like the first half of the game, first half of the storyline, you're basically at school and you're a teacher and you're teaching these kids. Basically, like it's like war Hogwarts, basically. You're
nice
teaching them magic and medieval warfare and battle tactics and sword play and all this kind of stuff to fight in fantasy wars. But it's like Hogwarts and it's friendly, even though everybody's from different countries and they're gonna someday go to war together. And then there's a time jump in the future, and what happens is that they are actually at war. Like you go to war with each other, and when they're older. It's a great game. It is so far my most current favorite game of all time.
It's the best way to make friends. Just go to war with each other.
Just go to war. Have a high school reunion. And
have a nice chat and fight one another.
Yeah, I guess in this would be college. They're about college age when they're in school before the time jump. But yeah, have a college reunion and go to war, I guess. Don't go to war, please. Don't go to war. Just play the game that's about war. Anyway, I also watched the third episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Very cool. Spoilers. Katie Sackhoff makes an appearance as a very important character from the Clone Wars, which is really cool and really ties in that more. I don't know much about the Clone Wars, but it dealt more with like the Mandalorians and the Darksaber, which you see at the end of season 1. It's so good. I just feel like it's about ready to like really rev up. The first 2 episodes were like a nice intro to the tone and like the high stakes. And I don't know. I remember hearing from one of the people that worked on The Mandalorian that season 2 is The Mandalorian on steroids. But now with this third episode, it seems like it's really digging deep into the storyline with the main bad guy who had the Darksaber in the last one, who's, I forget his name, but he's the guy who plays him is Gus from Breaking Bad. Also, he was bugging out in Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
Esposito. Anyway, I'll have to come back to it. I think that's his last name. Anyway, fantastic actor. Anyway, I've also been continuing watching Dragon Ball Super on the Funimation app. Still currently in the Tournament Power. It's so funny. Like, keep in mind, I love this franchise, but also I recognize how silly it is.
I need my translation dictionary like now so I can understand half the shit you're about to say.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, Dragon Ball Super is really, actually has like good comedy in it that's like really funny, but also sometimes are just like the cliches that it does is so really, we're going to have this one fight last for 20 episodes. Like, this Tournament of Power, which is only supposed to be about 45 minutes in the storyline. Like,
that was a staple of the show when it came out, wasn't it?
What was
that the fights
tournament
would
power?
last for so long. That was kind of the joke when when I was younger. When
It is.
friends
It
of mine
still
would
is.
talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was that, but Dragon Ball Super, it didn't do that as much earlier on, but now it's like this tournament power is supposed to be like 45 minutes for the characters, but really for us, it is literally, it's about like 35, 40 episodes. For each episode's a half hour long too. So each of that is like, I guess, a second in the characters world because it's only supposed to be 45 minutes, which doesn't make any sense. Whatever. I still love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Zuper. Anyway, so
Super.
go watch it on the Funimation app. Make up your own mind. Yeah, I love it with all its flaws. I do. I love it with all its flaws. It was really my gateway into anime. I think I first watched that. I first caught a glimpse of that when I was like maybe 10 or 11, I think. And I was just like, oh, I love this so much. Anyway, so moving on. I've also been continuing reading my Eberron source book, Eberron Rising from the Last War, which is a campaign setting of the Dungeons and Dragons world. Very cool. I've been told, or I researched that it's in the genre of arcane punk or arcana punk, which is basically like kind of like steampunk or like cyberpunk, but really this is like the integration of magic as a power source for different machines. So you have like a science fiction element, but everything's fantasy power. Basically, like it's powered by like these crystals and magic elementals, and you can have like airships and trains and different machines. There's these robots in there too. I mentioned this last episode that are called the Warforged, but they have their own like souls and their own like consciousness and they're aware that they exist. It's really cool.
I mean, that's me too. I mean, that's how I wake up in the morning is my arcana and my magic.
yes. Yeah, just turn off your magic clock, your magic alarm clock, and pick up your magic phone and start scrolling down that magic Facebook.
Exactly.
And also weirdly, I had some work to do, so I like wanted to like rewatch something that was just like, I've seen it a ton of times. I rewatched again The Mummy, the 1999 version of The Mummy.
Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser. I love that movie. It's such a fun adventure. I'm not a fan of the sequels. I should say, like, I've never seen the third one. It didn't look good to me. Maybe I'm prejudging. Maybe it's awesome. I don't know. I remember not liking the second one because it had Brendan Fraser's character and the character Evelyn, they have a kid, and that kid is so annoying in the second one. And I think it also happened, I think it was around the same time Zorro 2 came out, I think around the same time, and had like Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. They had this kid, and this kid, he's like 5 years old, and he kicks like 10 guys' asses, like 10 grown men. He just kicks their asses because he's just the son of awesome people, and it's just like... And he's doing like all these
sign of his power, okay?
He's like 2 feet tall and he's doing like all these flips everywhere and he's just beating the shit out of all these men. And I'm like, I hate this. This is such a fucking cartoon.
Isn't The Rock in Mummy too?
Yeah, he's a Scorpion King. That was a cool part about the Mummy Returns. I did like that. The Rock was in it. So I do like The Rock. But I just didn't like that kid. Everybody else returned, which is really cool, and I really like that. But I didn't like that kid. I just hate little boys. Anyway, keep them away from me. But anyway, no, it's fine. Little boys can fine. There's little boys in movies. I don't.
If they're in Dragon Ball, it's okay. But
yeah, if they're like little Gohan and they're fighting, he's like 5 years old, trained by Piccolo, and he's training for him a year, makes him live off the land, eating dinosaurs for 6 months before he trains them, and then Vegeta and Nappa come by, and then he's like, "Go, little kid, you're 5 years old."
That's one thing, but if they're
Gohan,
in the Mummy,
I like as a little kid kicking ass on Namek and protecting everybody. That kid. I'm sorry, I'm overgeneralizing little boys. I shouldn't. I don't want to talk about little boys anymore. God damn it.
We got girls to talk about, okay?
We got girls to talk about.
We got to talk about those girls and their spiciness.
Spicy girls. Oh my God, I feel so gross. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I promise I'm not this weird. Anyway, moving on. God damn it. What I meant to say is Mummy 2, Zorro 2, didn't like the little kids in it. That's it. Everybody else was cool. Pop Slurp quiz time.
All right.
Pop Slurp quiz time, everybody. That's right. We did it last week when we did our guest episode with Matt Weinstein, no relation to Harvey. And
It blew
he
my
did
mind a
very
little
well.
bit. Weinstein knew quite a bit about Chris Nolan, I'm not going to lie.
The quiz was all centered on Christopher Nolan information, and he smashed it. He got maybe like one wrong, I think, and but other than that, he did really well.
He was
So
pretty
the
close
Star-
to it, though, and the only one he got wrong was not guessing Ridley Scott, I think.
Yeah. So he got like half of that right because he had, I think it was like Stanley Kubrick or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
He was pretty much there, though.
Yeah, he did well. Maybe you'll do as well. Maybe I'll do as well. Maybe we'll do the opposite. But this is all centered around the movie today, which is Spice World.
Spice World.
So the first question is for you, Adam, and I'm going to ask it. And I'm going to give you approximately 10 seconds to answer as soon as I get done. So I'm looking at my watch. But here we go with the question. Between 2006 and 2007, Mel for short, Janine Brown, a.k.a. Mel B, a.k.a. Scary Spice, was in a relationship and had a child with this famous comedian.
Oh, snap.
5 seconds.
I got nothing, man. I got
Eh.
nothing.
Okay, the answer is Eddie Murphy.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yep. And their child is named Angel Irish Murphy Brown, born April 3rd, 2007.
Angel Irish Murphy Brown. Are they not in a relationship anymore?
No, it wasn't very long. It was only for a year. And he, I guess, ended up paying, if my source is correct, he ended up paying a settlement and had a DNA test because they weren't sure if it was his kid or not.
Oh, but it was.
Yeah, I don't know if he's involved with that kid's, I don't know. I don't have enough information to say that. But
Ooh.
yeah, Eddie Murphy and Scary Spice had a kid and a very beautiful name, Angel Irish Murphy Brown.
Wow.
Yep, so that kid would be about 13 now. Yeah, 2007. So
Wow.
all right, buddy. Give me
I should have
your
made a guess.
question.
I was ready to just say Mike Myers or something.
Mike Myers.
All right, I got a question for you, DJ.
Sure.
Question number 2, throwing at DJ. All right, DJ, which Spice Girl never wears pants?
Oh boy. Posh Spice.
You are correct, and that is identifiable in the movie Spice World in the scene where they go to the dance camp, the boot camp, and they have to do the boot camp training, and Posh Spice is wearing a dress and does none of the training.
She's my least favorite Spice Girl.
Yeah, she's kind of a jerk in this
Don't
entire
like
movie.
her. I don't like her. All the other ones are cool. I don't like her.
She's probably totally fine. She's probably very funny, but all of her jokes in this movie, or her character as it's made up, is just kind of the rich, jerky Spice, which makes sense because she's
this
posh.
sucks and you suck.
She's
kind of
posh
thing.
Spice, so that should sort of be her personality, but it just makes you not like her more because you're like, all right, you bitch, stop being a bitch.
Wait, don't say the B word. The B word. You can say B word. Don't say that. But yeah, she was almost kind of like the opposite of everything we learned in improv. Basically is she's the one in the group that's this sucks and you suck. It's people don't want to have fun with people like that because they just kind of ruin everything for everybody else. Because all together, the 4 other Spice Girls were like, yeah, this is fun. Oh yeah. Oh, so cool. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't have my Gucci dress on. What's the dress code here?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie though, that scene was very funny to see her where all I can wear is a Gucci dress. It's either little Gucci dress or little Gucci dress. It's I know, how about the little Gucci dress?
But that was funny because the other ones were funny.
Yeah.
The other 4
Because Baby Spice, how about the little Gucci dress?
Oh, I know, the little Gucci dress. That was funny. But Posh Spice herself, at least as a character, no judgment on the person. And we will not call her the B word. We will just say that she is I'll just say she's an asshole. Her character is an asshole. I don't know anything about the person. Her character is an asshole.
The A word?
A word. Asshole.
Okay.
Everybody's
All
got
right.
an asshole.
All right. Okay. All right.
I love you, buddy. Hugs. Next question. All right. Well, my number 2 question for you, buddy, is what famous Oscar-winning actor did Emma Burton, a.k.a. Baby Spice, date in 1997? Timer now.
All these dating questions, man. Oscar-winning actor.
5 seconds.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Baby Spice would never date Michael Keaton, but sure, Michael Keaton.
I'm Batman. No, it is not Michael Keaton. I don't know. Maybe she dated him at some point, but according to my
I
question,
highly doubt that, but
a
sure.
famous Oscar-winning actor. He was not Oscar-winning at the time,
Oh,
but he
okay.
became Oscar-winning eventually.
Daniel Craig.
Eventually. If that's any clue, is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Dated Baby
Leonardo
Spice?
DiCaprio. Yes, Leo DiCaprio dated Baby Spice in 1997.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. I think that was around like Romeo and Juliet era / Titanic. Jesus, he would have been huge. Yeah, 1997. So
The young
yeah,
days.
So Baby Spice and Leo DiCaprio dated briefly in 1997. So yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, what is your next question, Adam?
Okay. Final question goes to DJ with what musician made a cameo as a bartender near the end of the film Spice World?
Um,
5 seconds.
Wasn't Alan Cumming? It wasn't. I don't know.
And your time is up.
Elton John? Oh wait, what?
No, he did make a cameo in this film, though,
Yes.
but they did say Elton John's name in the beginning of the movie. The musician who made a cameo as a bartender was Elvis Costello.
Oh yeah, I did see his name. I just wasn't. Oh, okay. I remember that scene. Very nice. Well done. Very nice.
Elvis Costello
That's fun.
apparently made a cameo in this movie because of the, what was it? Roger Moore movie with Nail and I think was
Yeah.
it? And apparently, I found this in my research. It said in an interview with the AV Club, Elvis Costello said he loved. It's Richard E. Grant's movie with Nail and I, and he said, I thought if I go to IMDb, I'm only a couple of clicks away from With Nail. And he said I'd only quit drinking a couple of years before, so I think the idea of being a barman was sort of ironic in my mind.
Interesting. Well, good to know. I hope you listeners enjoyed that Pop Slurp quiz about the Spice Girls. And with that, we are moving on to our main review. And that's right. We are reviewing Spice World. That's right. Spice World is a 1997 British musical comedy film directed by Bob Spires, and written by Kim Fuller. The film stars pop girl group The Spice Girls, who all play themselves. The film, made in a similar vein to The Beatles' A Hard Day's Night, which was in 1964, depicts a series of fictional events leading up to a major concert at London's Royal Albert Hall, liberally interspread with dream sequences and flashbacks, as well as surreal moments and humorous asides. This is the second feature-length film directed by Spires following That Darn Cat in 1997. The film features Richard E. Grant, Claire Rushbrook, Naoko Mori, Meatloaf, Barry Humphries, and Alan Cumming in supporting roles. Filming took place in London for 6 of the 8 filming weeks, and also inside Twickenham Studios, as well as at over 40 famous British landmarks. And the budget was $25 million, and it made $151 million in
It was
box
a big
office.
one. It was a
And that
big
was
one.
in 1997 dollars. So that's a lot more today.
Big money, yeah.
The film music, besides the Spice Girls, was done by Paul Hardcastle. Cinematography by Clive Tickner, edited by Andrea MacArthur, and it was distributed by Polygram Film Entertainment, and production companies were Fragile Films, Polygram Film Entertainment, Icon Entertainment International. And it is officially a United Kingdom film, and running time was 93 minutes, and the release date was December 15th in the UK of 1997. Then it came out really all over in December 26, 1997. And listeners, to give you some background, in case we got some younger people in the audience, I was a little kid when the Spice Girls, I was like in early elementary school when, Wannabe came out. And I remember all these girls singing this song, if you want to be my lover. I didn't even know what they were talking about, but I came out and it just was huge. And I don't remember too much, but I was just old enough to be aware of pop music and stuff like that was big. And So I had some grasp of the Spice Girls of who they are, but anybody born after 1995, I'm guessing, probably doesn't know any of this unless they really like, pop music history. So just to give you a little bit of background, the Spice Girls are an English pop girl group formed in 1994. The group comprises Melanie Brown, also known as Mel B, which is also known as Scary Spice, Melanie Chisholm, who is Mel C, also called Sporty Spice, Emma Bunton, aka Baby Spice, Jerry Halliwell, aka Ginger Spice, and Victoria...
Just call her Ginger. Ginger. Nobody calls her Ginger Spice.
Ginger. And Victoria Beckham, aka Posh Spice. In 1996, Top of the Pops magazine gave each member of the group aliases, which were adapted by the group and media. Their girl power mantra, the Spice Girls were pop culture icons of the 1990s. Time called them arguably the most recognizable face of Cool Britannia, the mid-1990s celebration of youth culture in the UK. They are also cited part of the second British invasion of the US. So they were kind of like this, basically, if you take Britney Spears, times it by 5, and you have Spice Girls.
Okay, but I like the personality much more of the Spice Girls than Britney Spears.
I agree. I kind of regret saying that. The thing is, I never really understood when I was younger that I do understand now after I've seen Spice World, because I'd never seen this film before, is that they were on purpose wacky. I didn't understand, why are they so weird? I was a little kid, but now I get, it's part of their act. They're supposed to be cool.
They're supposed to be comedic.
But they're also, supposed to be good musicians, but also funny too.
Yeah.
And it didn't really set in until I watched this movie for me. And I appreciate that.
But they're not
wackiness.
Weird Al Yankovic comedic. They're funny as in hey, you can laugh at us, but also we're here for you in a very, serious, supportive sort of way.
Yeah, they're sincere, but with their music, but they're also not. Yeah, they make original, fun music, and they're trying to make good music, but they're also not they're not parodies of anything. So,
right.
I mean, that's original and that's fun, and it's something that. Can you imagine if Backstreet Boys or NSYNC was more, silly or wacky? I think it would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Well,
that's basically that's a lot of K-pop music. That's what a lot of K-pop music does. Is just hey, we're dudes, we're just having fun. Let's hang out.
There's
let's
15
go.
of us.
Yeah, grab drinks. Hang out. Let's all be cool. And everyone's great. Music I can relate to. And then the other side of that is in the 90s, a lot of boy band groups are yo, we're too cool for you. You can't hang out with us because we're guys. And it's okay, that's called sexism, buddy.
Yeah. It's quit being an asshole. Let's loosen up. No, I like this. I like the Spice Girls / K-pop way of life with music. Is let's be cool. We can be good looking. We can be fun. We can be good at music, but also we can be funny. So yeah, let's mix it on in everything. You can't just be I guess I don't know. I know that Posh Spice's character was supposed to be more of I guess. They thought that they just had to have somebody who's just this fucking sucks. They don't say fucking in this, but
excuse me for using the B word earlier, but come on, let's be real. We have the one Spice who's
being a jerk.
I'm too cool for you guys.
She's an asshole.
I can't wear pants and I need to look pretty. This is dry clean only. She does say that in the movie. She falls into a river and she's this dress is dry clean only, and she's
after
freaking
screaming
out.
bloody murder, basically.
Yeah.
What? Sporty Spice basically saves people. I mean, she's the athletic one, so of course. But yeah, all the other ones I don't know. I just don't like Posh Spice at all. But the other ones were so fun and funny. Now, granted, this is not a knock on the character. Again, I'm talking about the characters because I don't know the real people. The characters of the movies. It's not a knock on this character, but Sporty Spice. I couldn't understand anything she was saying. It was so thickly British. Again, nothing against British people because I have British friends. Nothing against British people. There's a solid. Okay, backing up. There's a solid third of this movie that I had really trouble understanding because it was so syrupy British that I couldn't. I'm what?
I gotta agree. There were spots where they would be talking to each other, and they would be talking it wasn't complete gibberish. Maybe it's just like you and I would be having a conversation, and it might be you and I in a group with maybe two other people. And I know how that is when you're hanging out in a situation and everyone's talking really fast. So it'd be like, yeah, what'd you do last Friday? Oh, yeah. And then two other people start talking at the same time, saying a joke. And, wow, so funny. Well, when you get the Spice Girls doing that, just like casual talking, and they've got these extreme British accents, me, the American man I'm sitting here watching this movie thinking, what in the hell are these chicks saying
What are you,
with their
what?
British slang?
Yeah, like
It is slang. I'm sorry to all
is
the
slang,
people in Europe, but teach me your ways, Master Kenobi over there in Europe. Like, I really don't understand some of it, particularly in this movie. It's just like I just could not pick up on some of that.
It wasn't just the Spice Girls too. It was like the other characters too that had. I mean, there was a couple Americans, like George Wendt was in it, and like
Yeah.
there was a couple Americans that like. Okay, I get it. As us as native English speakers,
Mhm.
I mean, granted, I'm not the best at talking. I like stutter and mumble sometimes.
Sure,
and I have to
yeah.
like really concentrate on like enunciating and being clear with it. But this was just like there was no. It seemed like there was no self-regulation. There was just rolling out like everybody can understand. Oh, blah, 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 like
Yeah.
but who can? It's like what?
I think
Like,
I really
and, like,
caught it when
we
they were
speak the same language. We speak the same language, and
Yeah.
England's like the place where English is supposed to be the best.
Right.
Like I don't understand. It's not like it's Shakespeare or something. It's.
It might as
But
well
anyway.
have been. I was really catching it when they were doing the photo shoot. It was the end of the I was watching the
Yeah.
photo shoot scene, and I was thinking, wow, really cool. They're doing a play on Marilyn Monroe. They're doing a play on John Travolta and Sandy, like in
Wonder Woman.
Greece. Anyways, the end of that scene when they were all done with the photo shoot, they're all talking to each other, just like, oh, I'm feeling it over here, and like they're doing all of this stuff. They're making comments on their outfits all at the same time, and I'm trying to catch everything they're saying, but I can't make all of it out because they're all saying it at the same time. I'm like, what did they just say? What? I don't even know, but I will say though, to rewind back to the beginning of the movie, I thought the opening to this film was cool as hell because that music video they had going on that went into their live show, I thought the way that the music video portion, the very beginning of this film was edited, I thought that looked so cool. My first thought was, I want a music video that looks like this cool 1970s color vibe that they got going on, and the way they were introducing the Spice Girls, like each one kind of came in on their own, and they had their own name, like, this is Mel B, this is, Mel C, and it was a real cool introduction intro. Maybe some people think that's too cheesy. I don't know. My opinion, I thought it was really cool. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, and they go into singing their song "Too Much" on Top of the Pops, and but they become dissatisfied with the burdens of fame and fortune as the movie goes on. Meanwhile, sinister newspaper owner Kevin McMaxford is trying to ruin the girl's reputation for his newspaper ratings. I did not know that at all watching the movie. Again, this is another guy, another very British guy in this. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying or what you're evil laughing to.
I knew
and
he
what
had
was it
problems with his
assistant?
newspaper.
Yeah, he had an assistant, and like at some point the assistant he was in an office with a ceiling, and all of a sudden he
It
says
just starts
something
raining on him?
evil. It just starts raining only on his assistant
Yeah.
indoors in this skyscraper office. I'm like, what? What is happening? Okay.
Well, my first thought was, does this correlate to the shot beforehand where it's just showing Mr. McMaxford or whatever?
Yeah.
The shot beforehand when he was talking to him, it was a close up on his face and his mouth, and every word he was saying just spit shooting out of his mouth.
that was so
Hardcore,
gross.
so much spit just coming out of his mouth. I'm like, is the rain supposed to relate to the amount of spit that was just coming out of his mouth?
That makes sense. I did not get that at all, but thank you for helping me make some more sense of that scene.
Is that
I
what
was
it's
like
supposed to
just
be?
going with it. Like, okay,
Maybe, I don't
fine.
know.
It's raining just on him. I guess he just has a cloud over him. The plot is like, again, I still don't have a grasp on it. I'm like, like, okay, I guess there's a bad guy. They got to make it to a concert. It really, okay, so like not every film is plot focused for sure. Not every film is plot focused. This, I would say, is not. Doesn't mean a film is bad. this is more character based. This is more situational based. Like this is more of like almost kind of like a sketch show that's like taking place over a journey, but the end is not really where we're trying to get as much. I mean, at the very end, yeah, they're like they're in the bus and they're racing to the concert, but like it's really not. There's really not a super objective for these characters too much. It's at least not a primary focus. It's more of like the different interactions they have and like the different experiences they have. For instance, my favorite one was when they all had to go pee and the toilets are broken on the bus. So the five Spice Girls, they all get out with their flashlights and they're parked like near like a woodsy area off of the road. So they're all huddled together looking for a place to pee, pointing their flashlights forward. And all of a sudden, they get to this little bit of an open spot in the woods where aliens land down. A UFO comes down, and aliens come out, and they know the Spice Girls, these aliens. You can see subtitles and read what they're saying in their alien language. And they realize it's the Spice Girls, and they want an autograph. And one of them grabs Scary Spice's boob, and then like she hits him off, and then one of them gets a kiss from Ginger Spice, and they're fans. They want to see the show, and
they take a picture with them.
They take a picture with them, and yeah, I guess I guess it cuts over when they all find a place to pee. I guess they found a place to pee, but they all come back to the bus as if it was nothing. It's just okay, ran into some fans from another planet. I liked situations like that. What was your favorite wacky scene, Adam?
I thought it was hysterical when this was my sort of realization moment that this could be very sketch oriented, was early on when they introduce their friend who is pregnant. And it's sort of the situation when they're like, wow, like, you know, you're going to have a child. And she's like, I want you all to be the godmother. And it's like, wow, okay. That might have actually happened later, but this is the beginning when you first realize they have a friend who's pregnant, and she kind of opens up the idea to them just like, oh, well, why don't you all imagine what it's going to be like when you're older and you all have kids? And so it sort of transforms into the situation where all the Spice Girls are imagining if they are all older and they all have children and they're all older, just sort of like in this home as old ladies talking about life with children. And immediately I'm thinking like, wow, this movie's going to have a series of sketches in it. And I know DJ understands what this is like, but me and DJ both live in Chicago. We've both gone through sketch comedy here, and it just made me die a little bit inside thinking like, man, I've been through this. I've done sketch comedy here in improv, and I'm so glad that the Spice Girls know what this is like to do sketch and things like that. I found out through my research that they did a lot of improvisation for this film, that they didn't necessarily follow through the script, and they very much almost made the script supervisor quit her job because they weren't following the script so much.
That makes sense, especially with Posh Spice's performance, because again, throwing back to improv, like you said, not always, but a lot of times, especially with like new improvisers, you have that one person that's like, this sucks, you suck, and fuck this. I'm the one that's just grouchy, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Or the one like Michael Scott in The Office that just shoots everybody with an improv imaginary gun.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? You just killed the scene. But the other ones that makes sense. I didn't know that. That the other ones do seem like they were improvising with each other, and they had a good attitude. The other four, they had a good attitude of like helping each other and supporting each other and having a good time with each other. So that makes sense because I felt that. Not Posh Spice though.
Right, yeah. Apparently they said they gave them daily script pages and they rehearsed it. And they said that you needed to catch them at the right moment when the energy is there. They're not going to do 20 takes of one line, so you had to think quickly on your feet. And then in the Spice World documentary, Mel B confessed that she and the girls interpreted the script, and she said, we contributed our own little sparkle on top of it. There were some times when we'd say the lines wrong just to make us laugh. And Baby Spice added, and she said, but those improvisations caused the script supervisor to almost quit. She said, the script lady went berserk and nearly resigned because we kept changing everything. There were a lot of flowers, and we consoled her for a while, and everything was fine after that.
Oh boy. Yeah, I understand both sides. I've been that annoying actor where I'm like, I'll just do this. It's funny or something, or make someone laugh, but like it's really like making someone else's job really hard. So that's not good either. Nonetheless, it's a fun story. I'm glad you brought that in because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Um,
It just made me appreciate the movie more upon reading that, because it's like, wow, so like I already thought that the Spice Girls were, upon first watching this movie, I'm thinking it's a Spice Girls movie. The Spice Girls aren't actors. And then watching this movie, I'm thinking, okay, well, they have to be acting somehow because they're playing these characters. Like, these girls can't literally be, Posh Spice can't just be posh in real life. Like, she can't be living the posh life of never wearing pants, Like, that was her character, is that she doesn't wear pants. Like, she only wears dresses.
So deep.
So she can't just be living a life where she's never going to wear pants. However, when she's Posh Spice, which for the Spice Girls career of like 2 years, she couldn't go out as a Spice Girl and be wearing pants. Can you imagine like the method acting commitment of being Posh Spice and never wearing pants and only wearing dresses? That makes her an actor. She's method acting to be Posh Spice.
Again, we've noted that method acting is not the good way to act. The good way to act is, and this is DJ Garrett's opinion, is the Meisner method, as is your last name, Mr. Adam Meisner. Go the Meis.
Spelled differently for Sanford Meisner, but
Sanford Meisner, to be specifically. Maybe there's relation. Who knows? Well, yes. Put on pants. You don't have to put on pants, but like,
dress how you want.
If you want to put on pants, but you don't have to not wear pants to get in character. That's what we're saying. If your character doesn't wear pants.
Yeah, moral of all that, the Spice Girls were acting some way, somehow, interestingly enough. And I mean, it's very interesting to see that they were improvising in this film, even if it pissed off their script supervisor. But I digress.
Hopefully she was given a bonus.
Yeah.
And I wanted to note that when it came to music, because of course this has to do with music, this film Spice World, there was a lot of Spice Girls songs, and I just wanted to read off all the songs that were in Spice World for the listeners. Maybe we have some Spice Girls fans that are listening, so I want to.
And if you're not yet, then you should turn into one, because they do have some catchy songs.
It is actually very catchy. I was definitely embarrassed about it back when I was a little kid, but because I didn't want to get made fun of by like fucking jerks in elementary school and junior high. But like, I did enjoy Spice Girls. I enjoyed Backstreet Boys, and like I enjoyed NSYNC and all that and stuff. It wasn't the only music I listened to, but that was catchy. And
I never listened to them when I was younger, but watching this movie now, I'm like, all right, I'm not ashamed. This movie has some good music. This is some real good music.
Yeah. The Spice Girls songs that were included in Spice World the movie, which would be Too Much Spice World version. It's like a Too Much version for the movie. Do It, Say You'll Be There, Mama, Denying, Saturday Night Divas, Stop, Two, the number two, To Become One, the number one, to become one. I'm the leader of the gang. I am. Never
so you tell your
up.
Friends.
Yes. I'm the leader of the gang. I am. Never give up on the good times. Sound Off. My Boy Lollipop. Viva Forever. Which doesn't that mean like I forget my Spanish classes from high school, but like doesn't that mean like forever? Like I'll guess long live forever. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know Spanish. Wannabe, which is the demo version for this because it's like a shortened version. What do you think? What do you think you are, or who do you think you are? Please excuse me. Spice Up Your Life. The lady is a vamp. I don't
like a vampire.
Yeah, like I kind of recognize most of these. I don't recognize the lady is a vamp. Yeah, just VAMP. I don't know that song. Even though I watched the closing titles, I don't remember that. That's the only one I don't find familiar. Anyway. When this movie came out in 1997, it was very successful. It was #1 box office success in the United Kingdom, grossing more than £6.8 million during its opening weekend on Boxing Day, 1997, setting a record opening week for a British film in the UK. The film also was successful at the box office in the United States, breaking the record at the time for the highest ever weekend debut for Super Bowl weekend, which was January 25th, 1998, with box office sales of $10,527,222. The film took in total $151 million, as said before, at the box office worldwide. The film was released on VHS on May 1998 in many regions, including the UK, Germany, Spain, the Netherlands, Japan, and Australia. In June 1998, it came out on VHS in the US and Canada. Despite concerns at the high-profile departure of Halliwell from the Spice Girls would affect sales,
Ginger Spice.
Global demand for the VHS was high. And in the US, the film peaked at number 1 on the video charts for 5 consecutive weeks and was the 5th best-selling video of 1998. And when it came to rating by the MPAA, in the United Kingdom, Spice World was granted a PG certificate by the British Board of Film Classification for mild bad language, mild sex references. In the United States, it received a PG rating from the MPAA, which is the Motion Picture Association of America, for some vulgarity and brief nudity in language. I don't remember. Oh, the assless chaps, guys. I was like, when is
what kind of nudity
are
you talking about?
A man's ass is not nudity, as Joey Tribbiani would say in For Friends.
Well, I want to jump on what you're talking about real quick, because
asses.
didn't you say this was number 1 movie for a period of time? Weren't you saying that just a moment ago?
Yeah, it was so in the US, the film peaked at number 1 on the video charts for 5 consecutive weeks and was the 5th best-selling video of 1998. That was like when it came out in VHS.
See, I wanted to follow that real quick with Roger Ebert's review of this film, because I highly suggest checking that out. He gave it a half of a star, and it's a very funny review. Which again, I highly suggest checking out. I just wanted to read a couple quotes that I pulled from his review. It's hysterical. One of which I thought was very funny. A quote from Roger Ebert's review. He said, "The Spice Girls, they occupy Spice World as if they were watching it. They're so detached they can't even successfully lip sync their own songs." And he also said, quote, "All of these elements are inspired in one way or another by the film A Hard Day's Night, which is the Beatles musical film." Follow that with Roger Ebert saying, "The huge difference, of course, is that the Beatles were talented, while, let's face it, the Spice Girls could be duplicated by any 5 women under the age of 30 standing in line at Dunkin' Donuts."
He did say, though, that they were easier to tell apart than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But that is a small consolation, what he said. Now, that's just mean, Mr. Ebert. He also said that Ebert would include this film on the worst of 1998 special, but he chose Armageddon as the worst film of 1998. And that just proves right there that I do not agree with Roger Ebert. God bless him, but I love Armageddon. So
I know, you look back at some of these films and it's like, wait, why did you think this movie was that bad? And also, why did you think Armageddon was that bad?
These meanie things. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, no, that was Roger Ebert. Yeah, it wasn't Siskel. He knows a lot, he's definitely said a lot of cool things, but also I do not agree with everything he said.
Well, let me go off of that review real quick. And Roger Ebert was looking at this movie clearly thinking that this movie was supposed to be some very serious, musical film.
Why would he think that?
Like looking at the Beatles' Hard Day's Night or something like that, and it's just like, wow, this musical, rock film, what a great, serious film or something. And then he's probably expecting the same thing from Spice World. Look at this, man. The Spice Girls are 5 comedic, and I say this not to, I was gonna say stupid, women. They're not stupid. I just mean like comedic. They're funny. Yeah, fun and silly. That's what I'm looking for here.
Yeah,
they're fun and silly women, and they're trying to make this a very comic film. And this isn't supposed to be, like, get out your pen and pencil and let's have a serious, dramatic film here. This is supposed to be like, look, we're going to be stupid and comical. And that is literally what this film is. And as you were saying earlier, DJ, this film does not exactly have a total following plot to it. Any normal film would have a story structure to it. You'd have a beginning, you'd have a climax, and you'd have a resolution. You'd have, something that would peak out and then resolve. And this film very much is more of a flat line. You have a starting point and you're kind of just, I would say for lack of a better term, but this is literally the best term, you're kind of riding the bus. You're on the Spice bus and you're just riding it along
which
until
was
you get
way
to the
too
end.
big inside compared to what it looked like outside. It was like
It's
Harry
Doctor
Potter.
Who's
Like,
bus.
yeah, it was like this magical giant gymnasium of like this like cozy place where each of them have their own special like Baby Spice had a kids swing or something like, and like Sporty
It's
Spice
not
had like a little
safe.
gym.
What if Meatloaf
Yeah.
crashed into something?
Yeah.
Okay, Meatloaf's their bus driver.
Yeah, I love the line. He's like, I love these girls, but like, and I would do anything for them.
But I
wouldn't
won't do
that.
that.
He wouldn't fix their
Yes.
toilet for them, of course. Classic
And he's
Meatloaf.
referencing his own music.
And I would do anything for love. Very
But
nice
I won't
Meatloaf.
do that.
Well done, sir. And on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave Spice World a rating of 34% based on reviews from 64 critics, with an average rating of 4.7 out of 10, and a critic consensus that reads, Spice World's lack of cohesive plot will likely lose most viewers, but for fans of the titular girl group, there is more than enough fun to be had in their wacky, albeit superficial whirlwind of an adventure. I don't know about superficial. I mean, of course, Posh Spice for sure. But like, I don't know. The other ones are they're just
You
wacky.
can hate Posh Spice, okay? Be like
Yeah.
us. You can hate Posh Spice,
I
but
don't like Posh Spice at all. Everyone's like just like wacky and fun, and I don't know. It's just kind of like a hangout movie. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like being goofy, singing, and hanging out. You know, and it's all weirdly PG rating. You know, I mean,
yeah.
there's like the one part where the alien grabs Scary Spice's boob, but like
Yeah.
other than that, there's really nothing sexual in it. I mean, you know, whatever. Dress the way you dress, ladies. Like, don't let anybody slut shame you. But like, there's nothing wrong with the way they dress. It wasn't like
Right.
scantily or it wasn't like
They dressed
dirty.
totally normal. Well,
dressed
except the
fine.
point too that Scary Spice was wearing an astronaut costume too. That was
Yes, that was the scandalous moment when Scary Spice was
She's the
randomly
one person in a
wearing
giant astronaut outfit.
an astronaut outfit, which is I'm like, why is she wearing? Why is she an astronaut? Is she Space Spice now? Yeah, that was the only costume I had a problem with was the astronaut suit.
It wasn't even scandalous. I also didn't mention I was talking about Roger Moore earlier when I was talking about Elvis Costello's appearance in this. He was actually in this because of Richard E. Grant, the film that he was in. However, Roger Moore is in this movie. He's the chief for the Spice Girls, and Roger Moore is very much playing on his prior role as James Bond. You can tell that because he's making himself a martini in his first part of the cameo. He's making himself a martini, petting a cat. I thought he was going to be the
Was it a cat or a
antagonist.
pig?
It was a cat in the beginning, and then later on it became a pig.
Yeah, what is like something as a pig now, piglet.
Yeah. I don't know
It did
why they
seem James
changed that,
Bondy.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
Did seem, he of course did Roger Moore. It makes sense.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know why it changed into a pig, and I also thought he was going to be the antagonist of the movie, but then it turned into that newspaper guy.
I would have rather have been Roger Moore as
Yeah.
like the James Bond.
He was very much like Dr.
villain.
Evil from Austin Powers, so it made sense to me like,
Yeah.
okay, he's going to be the bad guy, but then it turned into the newspaper guy.
He had like a cool office, like cool evil office, and
Yeah.
it just didn't make any sense that he was not the villain. I don't know if you noticed it or not, Adam, but there was talks about a sequel in 2010. Emma Bunton revealed that there were plans for a sequel following the release of Spice World in 1997. She said, I'm just gonna do a British accent. It's not like her British accent, but I'm just gonna do a British accent because it's fun.
I'm ready for it.
The Spice Girl British accent because it's a little different than like other British. Anyway, whatever. We would have liked to do another film, but after Spice World, there was an album, then a tour, and then Jerry left, so it didn't happen. She also said the press
That was good.
The Spice Girl, thank you. The Spice Girl. Could you understand what I was saying?
I actually could.
Nice. She also
Clearly, you
said
need to
that
work on your British accent if I can understand what you're saying. So
Yes, yeah, I know, right? We're like, what? This? No, she doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm
Speaking
just
like
making fun of-
Simlish now, just talk like you're one of the Sims.
Yeah, exactly. I'm making fun of all the characters in Spice World, ladies and gentlemen. Not picking on Baby Spice. Baby Spice.
No,
is
Baby
great.
Spice is like the best.
Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. Not making fun of her. She also told the press that a Spice Girls stage show was currently in development with producer Judy Kramer and the team behind Mamma Mia. Viva Forever ran on the West End from December 2012 to June 2013 and was a critical and commercial failure.
Mm.
Speaking in January 2019, following the announcement of the Spice Girls reunion tour, band manager Simon Fuller confirmed plans to make an animated sequel to Spice
Ooh.
World. On June 13, 2019, it was reported that Paramount Animation president Mirelli Soria had greenlit the project, and with all 5 members of the band returning. The project will be produced by Simon Fuller, with Karen McCullough and Kiki Smith writing the screenplay, and will feature both previous and original songs. The film will feature the band as superheroes. A director
Spice
has
Force
not yet been
5.
announced. So there's going to be an animated sequel to Spice Girl, and I guess it'll be something like Super Spice World or
Can it be
Super
Spice Force
Girls?
5?
Spice Force 5. Super Spice Force 5. Nice. I
mean, they
will
mentioned
watch
that
it.
in the movie. They mentioned it in Spice World, Spice Force 5.
They do. That would be pretty cool to tie that in. So that is the current status. They're in works for it and animated, which I don't see why that would be held up with the current pandemic, because you can just do all the voice acting from work from home, which would be cool.
I mean, I'll be a Spice Girl if it helps anybody.
Yeah.
I'll be a Spice Girl.
Which Spice would you be, Adam, if you were a Spice Girl?
Oh, it's tough. Should I be
This
Posh
is like
Spice?
Power Ranger episodes, it's like Power Ranger questions, like which, for me it was always the Red Power Ranger, like which Spice Girl would you be, Adam?
Do you want me to be Posh Spice just for you?
You be the Spice. No, you be the Spice that you were that you were meant to be.
That I was born to be?
Yes, paprika, oregano,
Paprika? Arugula Spice?
arugula. I'll tell you mine. Mine's a tie between Scary Spice and Baby Spice.
Ooh, I was gonna pick one of those too. I'll take Scary Spice.
Okay. Those two are probably my favorite. I like Ginger Spice a lot, but like I think Baby Spice and Scary Spice are probably the most fun in my opinion. Oh, a few other bits about. So, for instance, Jerry, who is Ginger Spice, she ended up having a yoga career. She ended up having like these yoga videos out, and it's called Jerry Yoga. So I think that's available on Amazon.
Nice.
You can check that out. And she was like a yoga fitness leader, kind of like Tony Horton or like Sean T at Beachbody.com. So she ended up making like yoga videos. I think the first one, at least one of them, came out in 2001. So it's been a while.
That's really cool.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. And Melanie C, who is a Sporty Spice, she said a big inspiration for her was Madonna, which makes sense. I think they kind of have like a similar vibe. So that's pretty cool. Again, I couldn't really understand what she was saying, but she seemed really cool. She seemed really cool. I just couldn't understand I understood everything that Posh Spice said. I just didn't like her. Didn't like her character anyway.
You need
maybe she's cool in real life.
You need a character like that in this movie, though, because if all of the Spice Girls were super friendly and cool, though, then this would be like a Care Bears movie. I
don't know, though. I think I would have still liked it if they were still like... I think if they were still like all like, yeah, let's get like, together, teamwork.
Because what if that military, dance camp, it's like, all right, everybody, work out. And then, Posh Spice is just like, okay, let's all get together. It wouldn't have been as funny because it was that moment where I'm watching Posh Spice is in her dress, just kind of like, no. I thought that was pretty funny that she's just kind of like, I'm not doing this.
To each their own, maybe. To me, I was like, get out of here, go home. I'm going to... still watch and have fun with the other fun.
See, I still felt that way, but I thought it was funny.
yeah. I guess there's a place for it. I think it's about that time, buddy. Unless you have any more factoids, we can move on to our final verdict of this film.
I do have one factoid. I thought this was really cool, and the thing was that while they were filming Spice World, I found the fact that because their first album, which was entitled simply Spice, not Simply Spice, but simply it was just entitled Spice, because it was such a massive hit, they needed to record their sophomore album to keep up the momentum. So in order to fit in filming the movie and recording their sophomore album, Spice World, they had a mobile studio on set. So they ended up recording Spice World, the album, and Spice World, the film at the same time. They ended up writing some of the albums and the movie's songs during production. And I found this quote, "It was quite good doing the album at the same time as the film because we were always hyperactive after a day on set, and that meant we could go in the mobile studio and vibe off each other," Posh Spice told The Telegraph. They managed to film during the day and record at night.
Interesting.
That would be so hectic and so tiring. Can you imagine just filming the movie all day and it's like, all right, now go record the album at night.
That
When
would
the hell do you go
be
to bed?
a crazy day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just a little bit more about Mel B, who is AKA Scary Spice. She did some cool stage work. She acted in a long run of shows as a part of the cast of the Vagina Monologues, and she was
Mm.
also in April 2004. Brown was approached to, which is Mel B, was approached to take part in the musical Rent as Mimi Marquez in the
Oh, that's so
Netherlands.
cool.
Yeah, and she did it, which is really, that would have been really cool to see her perform that. Yeah, she's awesome. She, and then yeah, after Rent, Brown became interested in recording new shows. Since her breakup with Virgin past partner in 2001, she remained distant from music, not interested in return. She had a leading role in the thriller Telling Lies and decided to release them a year later through an independent label, Amber Cafe. The only single, so she recorded music. The only single from the album Today saw a UK release in June 2005. So yeah, and then Today entered the singles chart at number 41, selling around 1,000 copies in its first week. So yeah, she
Nice.
did some cool work. I mean, they all really did awesome work
Yeah.
later, solo wise. They all separate careers and did really cool things. But especially the stage stuff, I would have really loved to see Melanie Brown and Rent, especially. That'd be
Absolutely.
really cool. But yeah, guess it's that time now. Let's move on to our slurps up, slurps down section. If you're new to the show, this is a section where Adam and I give our final verdict, final words on the movie, how we felt, and slurps up means we like it, we recommend it, and slurps down means we didn't like it and we don't recommend it. Adam, would you start us off, please?
I absolutely will. Listeners, this movie is a complete joke, both literally and metaphorically. If you were alive in the 90s, if you were a youngling like me and DJ both probably were, or if you were a real youngling, like, 3 years old and not understanding who the Spice Girls absolutely were, or you weren't alive yet, I don't know. I mean, I would say just check this movie out if you haven't already. I would say at least give this a watch because I think if you're even interested in the art of filmmaking, to my surprise, I think this film really covers a lot of different sort of elements in the styles of filmmaking in a very strange sort of way. When I was watching this movie, I thought it was very interesting in the terms of editing that it took you through, you're watching one element and then it sort of goes into the sketches that they were doing, that the Spice Girls were doing in their minds is kind of like, what is life now? And what if we were older? Here's a comedic sketch. And then it's back to their normal lives. And then they have another sketch of what things are like, very comedic sort of element. There was also times later on when there were film producers in the movie who were pitching ideas to some sort of clientele. And in their potential film ideas, there was stop motion animation when the bus had to jump over a bridge. That sort of sequence, how they tied all that together, the aliens, the costumes for the aliens, all these things. If you like filmmaking, I think the elements of the costumes that the aliens had, the stop motion animation, all those things, it brought a smile to my face, a smile to my mind to see all of the different elements that this film had, even though this film as a whole is a total joke in terms of having an actual plot to it. This film does not really have much of a plot, but if you enjoy the Spice Girls, or you can find yourself to enjoy the Spice Girls and just laugh at what they're doing, they have fantastic music, and this movie as a whole is a joy to watch. At least I thought it was. I thought it was just funny to see these five girls take me through this trek of just stupid humor. That was fun for me, and I would probably watch this movie again, just knowing that it's just a silly, stupid movie. And the cameos that are in this movie are really funny. Elton John, Meatloaf, Elvis Costello, Roger Moore, the celebrities that are in this movie make up for the stupid, hokey comedy that it is. along with the humor that the Spice Girls bring with it. So yeah, I would definitely suggest this movie, especially for the music. The music is so good, and I think people knock this for the wrong reasons. I think it is definitely still worth checking out. So yeah, I'd give it a slurps up.
Very cool. I'm gonna keep mine short. Yes, this movie is very silly, very fun, very just nonsensical, but it's part of its charm. The girls are fun, minus Posh Spice, in my opinion. It lots of wackiness. Once I realized, like, oh, it's wacky. It's supposed to be wacky. Like, it was just kind of like easier to accept and go along with. It's lots of silliness included with, like, a lot of, like, these performances that they do, which is fun. Like Adam said, if you're a fan of the Spice Girls, this is probably going to be a lot of fun. If you are not a fan and don't know the Spice Girls, this will probably help you become a fan after listening to a lot of their music. It's not for me. But I'm not knocking it. Like, it's not for me. I do recognize that it can be very fun for other people, for sure. So I'm going to give it like 2 ratings. One, I'm going to get like a first rating, which for me, just for myself, I'm going to say it's a slurps down. I recognize it. I did have some fun with it. It's not a movie that I typically like, or, and I like all different kinds of movies, but like, it just, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me, but it's not a shitty movie. It's a big, like Adam said, a big joke, but it's meant to be a big joke. I do recommend it for other people that may enjoy this kind of like humor, and especially if you're fans of Spice Girls. So for other people, I'm still going to recommend it. I'm going to give it a slurps up for the wider audience. So I say thank you, Spice Girls. Thank you, Spice Girls. Thank you, Spice World. I salute you, Spice World. Not for me, but I respect your existence in this world. And go sprinkle your spice on the other people out there that will enjoy it more than me. So that's my verdict.
There it is.
There it is. Woo! All right.
Get out of here, Ric Flair.
Get out of here, Ric Flair. What are you doing? That's our review of Spice World. Yes. Pretty soon, around the time when we release this episode, we'll be posting our recommendations, a list of movies that you can vote on for the holiday season. We're going to be doing holiday movies, the month of December, so it'll be 4 of them.
That's right.
And on our social media pages, be sure to stay tuned on especially our Instagram, and you can vote on our list of holiday movies and shorten it down to 4 for us. But yeah, look out for that. And now it's solo plug time. That's right, solo plug time. A solo plug for me, DJ Gerhardt, is I stream on Twitch. I play video games and I do other fun things on my channel. So follow me at twitch.tv/-jhart. That's twitch.tv/DASHJAYHART. Mr. Miser, what would you like to solo plug?
You can follow me on Twitter, on SoundCloud, on Instagram at Adam Meisner, and I release music, I release original songs, I release covers. You just let me know what you want to hear, and I will put it out there for your enjoyment.
Will you do a cover of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon theme song?
That's the first time I've heard that one, but I will. I'll check it out.
But can you make it like slow and jazzy and like sexy, like something that you could play with like a bunch of candles?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Something like that. We'll work on it together. Anyway, that wraps it up for this episode.
Turtle power.
Yes, cowabunga. So this episode of Screen Slurps is brought to you by Adam and DJ. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please be sure to like/follow us on social media. We release new episodes every Monday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and just about everywhere you can find podcasts on the internet. And please be sure to follow us and subscribe to us on those platforms. And if you like our show, please give us a nice 5-star review in the old Apple Podcast app. It will help the algorithms for us to climb the charts, and it'll help us grow. And please recommend us to everyone that you know. It will also help us grow. So closing out, this is DJ Gearhart.
And I'm Adam Meisner.
Slurps up, and we'll catch you later.
Later.